Things were going well. You were moving forward on something that mattered. And then, without a clear decision, without an obvious reason, you started slowing down. Small delay here, a skipped step there, a break that lasted longer than it should have. And now there's distance between you and the thing you wanted, not because something went wrong, because you got in your own way. You didn't plan to. Feel intentional. That's exactly what makes it so hard to see and so hard to stop. The real problem. Most people think self-sabotage is dramatic, quitting, making obviously bad choices, burning everything down. But real self-sabotage is quiet. It looks like small, reasonable decisions that don't seem harmful on their own. Delaying one thing, overthinking one step, taking a break that extends just a bit too long. Avoiding one conversation, deciding you'll start fresh on Monday. Nothing catastrophic. Each decision feels justified in the moment, but together they completely change your trajectory. And what makes it so confusing is that you genuinely want to succeed. You're not trying to stop yourself. So why does it keep happening? The misconception: self-sabotage is not you working against yourself in a conscious, deliberate way. It's your brain doing what it always does, reducing perceived threat, minimizing discomfort. Here's what people miss: success is not purely exciting. Success also brings pressure, expectations, visibility, the possibility of failing at a higher level, the risk of judgment from people who can now see you clearly. Your brain registers all of that, not consciously, not through any kind of rational analysis, emotionally. And it reacts, not with a decision to stop, but with small, automatic behaviors designed to slow things down just enough to stay inside a zone it considers safe. What's actually happening? Your brain doesn't just evaluate your actions. It evaluates consequences, especially identity consequences. When you move toward something bigger, your brain starts simulating what that change actually means for your life. More responsibility, more eyes on you, more pressure to sustain the new version of yourself once you get there. Even if you consciously want all of that, the system underneath reacts to the weight of it. And it creates small protective behaviors, not to stop you, but to slow your approach to the threshold. This is why self-sabotage sounds rational. I'll do it tomorrow. I just need more time. Let me plan this better before I move forward. I'm not quite ready yet. These aren't lies. Your brain genuinely experiences them as true, but underneath, they're responses to emotional pressure, not logical conclusions. The behavior looks like caution. It functions like avoidance, how the loop works. Self-sabotage doesn't say stop completely. It says delay a little, skip just this once. You'll be more ready tomorrow. And each of those feels harmless. Nothing visibly breaks, but internally, something critical changes. Momentum. Momentum is what makes action feel natural. It's the difference between starting feeling easy and starting feeling heavy. When you delay, even once, you disrupt momentum. Now the next step requires more conscious effort, more willpower, more self-talk to get moving again. And here's the loop: delay, small relief, reduced momentum, more resistance, easier to delay again. Each cycle quietly strengthens the next one until getting started feels genuinely difficult, even if the task itself hasn't changed at all. Why it doesn't feel like a choice. This is why self-sabotage feels so personal and so confusing. There is no single moment of failure you can point to, no dramatic decision where you chose to stop, just a series of small, justified choices, each one reasonable in isolation, that together moved you away from where you were trying to go. So it doesn't feel like you quit. It feels like you drifted. And drifting is harder to catch than quitting because it has no moment, No clear turning point, just a slow, quiet change of direction you didn't notice until you looked up. The shift. Self-sabotage is not about lacking ambition. It's about your brain prioritizing emotional safety over long-term direction. And that means the solution isn't intensity, pushing harder, trying more. The solution, awareness, specifically learning to notice the small moments where the drift begins before they compound. Solution one, remove the negotiation. Every moment you have to decide whether to do the thing is a moment where avoidance can move in. Self-sabotage thrives on internal negotiation. Should I do this now or later? The moment you open that question, you've given avoidance a foothold. Reduce those moments. Predefine the next step so specifically that it doesn't require decision, just execution. After lunch, I open the document and work for 25 minutes, not I'll try to work in the afternoon. The more specific, the less room for the system to redirect you. Solution two, protect momentum above everything else. Stopping resets resistance. Even a brief stop makes the restart harder. This means small, consistent progress beats large, sporadic effort every time. 10 minutes every day builds more momentum than 3 hours on one day followed by a week of nothing. When you feel the pull to take a longer break than planned, to skip just this one time, recognize that as the moment. Not because one break is catastrophic, but because the real cost isn't the time lost. It's the resistance you'll have to overcome to start again. Protect the chain. Even an imperfect link is better than breaking it. Solution three, make your inaction visible. Self-sabotage works best in the dark. When delays are private, internal, unrecorded, they're easy to minimize. It wasn't that long. I'll make it up. Make them visible instead. Track your actions. Use a simple calendar or log, not to judge yourself, to create information. When you can see the pattern of delays clearly, they become conscious choices instead of unconscious drift. What you can see, you can interrupt. What stays invisible compounds without resistance. You are not destroying your own success on purpose. You are responding to discomfort in small, automatic ways that compound over time without you noticing. That's not weakness. That's how the system works. Your brain is protecting you from something, even if that something is just the emotional weight of actually becoming who you want to be. The question isn't whether you're self-sabotaging. The question is, what does forward movement feel threatening about? Sometimes the answer is failure. Sometimes it's success. Sometimes it's the exposure of finally being seen trying and the possibility that your best might not be enough. Those fears don't get smaller by thinking about them. They get smaller by moving through them. One step in spite of the resistance, then another. Next week, why your brain gets pulled back to your phone before you even realize you've reached for it and what's actually happening in that moment.